Have you got an idea for a podcast? Let's hear it. Acast is your all-in-one podcast platform for recording, editing, publishing, and monetizing. We've got you covered. Getting started is quick, easy, and free. Head to acast.com to join today.
From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Wednesday, June 27th, 2018, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios, Eddie Big Cat Koffoltz.
Finally. I mean, it's
been a while.
It's nice to have me back. Thank you all. Thank you. The response to my departure has been absolutely silent and hurtful.
Next to Eddie, for the first time that I can recall, us all recording together, our managing editor, Andre Henry.
Yo.
Usually it's one or the other of you guys.
Yeah, but like for a while it was both of us in what was called the golden era.
Right.
There was a 2-week period where Andre and I
That was a great 2 weeks.
finally made America great again.
Over there on the ones and twos, our illustrious producer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
And if in case you're wondering,
We just keep introducing people.
yeah.
And also from here.
No, in case you're wondering,
Look, there's a guy in the back here. What's his name? We'll call him Frank. Frank's here today. I don't know this guy.
in case you're wondering, our newest cast member, Annie F. Downs, is traveling this week. She is in China.
Yeah.
Now, between us boys, do we believe she's in China?
You think she's had enough?
I think she's just at home. I think she's just posting pictures every once in a while of like Getty images of like Tiananmen Square or something. But really, I don't think she's in China.
Cameron, I should let you do. Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask right at the top of the show. Cameron, you say that you don't listen to the show while you're gone.
I can't handle it because there's only one of two things. Either I will learn that the show is way better when I'm gone, and that will hurt my feelings, or it'll be way worse when I'm gone. And that I don't want to know either. So ignorance is bliss. If I'm not here, which I wasn't for either of the shows last week, I was traveling in Montana. I did not listen to what y'all did.
Eddie, did you listen while you were absent for several weeks?
Not all of them, but I listened to last week's series of shows, and I thought they were great.
Okay. I'm always interested in feedback because I mean, between Andre Chandler and I, we thought they were fantastic shows. I mean, we were waiting for those podcast conferences to start emailing us award nominations for episode of the year.
I even avoid, not like fully avoid, but I'm less frequently checking the Relevant Podcast Twitter feed on the weeks that I'm not there because I don't want to know the fan reaction. I don't want to be like, oh, thank God he's not there this week. I don't want to see it. I mean, hurt my feelings.
The truth is it's consistent in a totally different way. And we've talked about this many, many times, but nothing to me is as good as when Jesse hosts, right? Because it's just...
That hurts a little bit.
No. No, in a way that would not hurt your feelings. Because it's like, coming up next, we've got Slices. He's just like, he's so on it, and he's just kind of like a weird hosty guy.
After the break, LeBron... Is LA really an option? Coming up next. No, I don't even think that's criticism. I think that is, I have chameleon-like ability to, go into different modes. Thankfully.
Well, we have a great show coming up for you today. Coming up on the show, Mark McMillan performs live in our studio.
Oh man, I was.
We've been sitting on this for a month or two.
Oh man,
because we wanted to roll it out at a specific time, but if you remember back to our live show, our 600th episode, a couple months back, Mark McMillan was our guest there. He did a U2 cover. He played a game with us. It was a lot of fun. Right before we did the live recording, he was back in our studio taping the performance you'll hear today, and also the video, the gorgeous video of this performance will be on Relevant TV today as well.
Oh man, Annie and I were, because you all were getting ready to do the live show, and we realized quickly we had nothing to do, and we were like, I wonder if he's about to record.
I could tell you didn't prepare.
We did. It was not my finest.
Both of you seem very unprepared. That explains everything.
But we popped in as they were doing the first take, and we just kind of got the look like, hey, you just blew a take of the song, but cool. We'll go ahead. Let's start back at one and give it another go. and we sat. It was beautiful. I mean, they are.
Eddie, how tempted were you? You know, a lot of people who've listened to the show a long time knows that, Eddie likes to noodle on the old guitar. He likes to pick out some Crash Into Me, some Dave Matthews tunes.
Obviously.
Right.
How tempted were you, Eddie, to just grab an instrument and just kind of not ask, but just start playing
Just
when they
sidle
perform?
up.
Right. Just I think a pair of just bongos back there, just giving a little tip tap to it. I don't think they would have noticed, and I think they would have loved it.
Eddie just sneaks in with some spoons.
I think we need a rain stick. I think we need the rain stick in the studio because you can add that rain stick to the last note of any song and it technically kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like as that last chord's ringing and all of a sudden you just hear the gentle tones of the rain stick. I feel like, Mark Chandler, that's something it'd be worth investing in.
Well,
I got a rain stick.
His wife Sarah sings on this song with him.
This is what I wanted to say. Like Sarah McMillan, I feel by us just saying John Mark McMillan's here, he has some of, his band with him and stuff, but most notably his wife, Sarah McMillan, is singing with him. And we all love John Mark, okay?
But it's like watching NSYNC and you're like, who's JT?
Right.
That's
what I'm saying. So Sarah McMillan's song, King of My Heart, is maybe one of my favorite worship songs. I listen to it all the time. And I feel bad that we're saying, oh, John Mark McMillan's here, because really it should be Sarah McMillan is here. And
I did not realize that was her.
Dude.
Yeah.
She takes it to a level that
she's amazing.
Her voice just sits perfectly.
It's just unbelievable.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm glad we're playing this song today.
Yeah. So they're coming up later. We also have a look at the brand new upcoming, it's your first peek, the new issue of Relevant.
And we're also, can I announce, we're going to release a bonus track where I will sing the high third harmony over John and Sarah, and you can just play them at the same time. And it's really, really, really moving.
We recorded that separately because they had to do the good version, but then we're doing something that you could sync up.
Right. It's like the Wizard of Oz thing. Is Wizard of Oz Dark Side of the Moon?
I don't know.
You don't know about this?
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
If you sync up Dark Side of the Moon, the famous Pink Floyd album, on the third, I think it's the
third lion roar.
It's the lion roar at like the Paramount intro, and you sync it up and you hit play right at that exact moment, the album matches up to the movie perfectly. Like all the weird psychedelic songs on that album matches up.
They've never admitted it, but it appears as though Dark Side of the Moon was written to be an alternative score.
Like a trippy soundtrack.
So do you leave the sound of the movie on too?
No,
you mute the movie. Well, what about lyrics? I mean, or dialogue?
The songs end up being kind of about what you're seeing on the TV. And so it's about her. And there's like these weird places where like you hear a heartbeat in Dark Side of the Moon and you see the Tin Man. Like it's a very, very it's very compelling. You've never seen this?
I've never done drugs.
See, now that's what you don't have in common with all the rest of us. And I won't speak for Andre, but I know I can speak for Chandler.
Hey, here's one night I got all hopped up on NyQuil and was in that, I was that very like Sudafed kind of haze, where you're like tired, but you're kind of restless. It's real weird. Popped out on, wow, just mind blown. The church did a little intervention for me.
Yeah.
After that, they heard, I was hitting the quill too hard. Yeah. But it's trippy. The other one,
all the media buzz is around the opioid crisis, overdose being the silent killer in America. They're not talking enough about the quill epidemic.
I will say this: my kids take gummy vitamins.
Oh man, that's the gateway.
They're basically gummy bears,
gateway.
but they claim to be vitamins, right? And so they each take one every morning. I have found myself, if I'm hungry for a snack, literally eating a giant handful of vitamin gummy bears.
Oh my God.
Like I figure, because a lot of people are like, well, you don't want to take too many vitamins. That's probably not good for like your kidneys and stuff. They can't absorb it. But my thinking is like, I'm either going to eat a handful of candy that has vitamins in it, or I'm going to eat a handful of candy. I feel like the vitamins is the right choice.
Something feels not right about it, but we all know you've been on the short road to rickets for quite a while. And so
it's the same thing with Flintstones. Have you guys had a Flintstones vitamin in your adult life? You're like, holy cow, these are like a really good, just standalone candy. Like the vitamin benefits aside, I could just buy, like, I would rather eat a box of Flintstone vitamins than a bag of Skittles. Like, if I had the option, Flintstone vitamins, I feel like are better tasting.
What? Hot takes.
Yeah. Have you ever seen it? The Dark Side of the Moon?
I have not. I have not.
So Andre and I
but I've
have
heard
not done
about
drugs.
it.
You have?
I've heard about it, but I've not watched it.
Oof.
Okay, you know the even trippier one. I don't know if you've seen this documentary about this, Eddie.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people who have theories that Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, the adaptation of the Stephen King novel, which he basically abandoned the novel and just made his own weird movie, back in the late 70s, that it actually has double meanings. There's an interesting documentary about this whole topic, but the most interesting is that there are all these hidden symbols in The Shining that it's Stanley Kubrick's confession that the U.S. government paid him to fake the moon landing footage, right? So, like, the theory is that during the space race, like, America knew they had to be first on the moon. They had to be the USSR in order to for like global prestige. So they hired the best filmmaker in the world at the time, who was Stanley Kubrick, to fake it for them. He felt so conflicted about it, but he could never tell that he made The Shining as a confession, and there's symbols and hidden things throughout the film that, if you were to believe that, it's actually pretty compelling.
Oh my gosh,
dude! Well, if you listen to this show carefully, you will know Annie is not in China. She faked the whole thing. That never happened. So there will be a
You're going to hear people, and here's how you know, you're going to hear me whispering periodically, Annie's not in China. If you turn up your volume,
if you sync it up
really high
with the Dave Matthews Band album Crashing to You.
Annie's not in
to
China.
me.
Yeah.
Crashing to me.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't know.
It's okay. It's fine.
It's a whole thing with cargo shorts and guitars. I don't know.
Man, I love that
album.
Theory stuff.
A lot of people don't know that Under the Table and Dreaming, that Dave Matthews album, it came with a carabiner. It came with like a Nalgene water bottle,
right?
And it came a Life is Good sticker and a pair of cargo shorts. That's what that album came with.
Hey, speaking of The Shining, Jesse,
the Eddie Kaufhold starter pack is what you're saying.
Hey, I've been gone for a couple of weeks, so you're going to need to just tell me when I have to move on, because I have a lot more to talk about. But Jesse, speaking of The Shining, last week...
Is that a horror movie?
Yeah.
Oof.
Never seen it.
It's a really creepy one, too.
I was in the hotel last week where a lot of it was filmed. And you know what other movie was also filmed in that hotel? Dumb and Dumber.
Where were you?
Colorado Springs.
In Colorado Springs?
Yeah, we went out.
They shot The Shining and Dumb and Dumber.
And part of it, yeah. So you drive up to this hotel, and you're like, this. It's the scene where there were like the blue suit and the orange suit.
Yeah,
you know,
the fancy
and they're
hotel.
just like, yeah.
That's how you roll on vacation.
We were just there to hang out at it for a little while. We stayed at like a normal
La
kind
Quinta.
of. La Quinta. Love the La Quinta.
You're big on the La Quinta.
We actually stayed at a really cool like camp where there was like horseback riding and stuff. And
it's called a dude ranch.
Dude ranch, yeah. Horseback riding.
You were horseback riding.
I did.
I was in Montana last week, and you were doing dudely stuff too. I didn't know that.
It was lovely. Horseback riding's a funny thing. Jesse, keep going. I'm just monologuing here.
No, I want to hear your take on horseback riding. Why is it so funny? Because I feel like it's much more natural. I feel like it's much more natural than all our other modes of transportation. Like, jumping on the back of a wild beast and having that connection with an animal in nature, I feel like is supernatural. Why did you feel weird about it?
When do you think cars are going to progress to the point that we stop using horses as the reference point for how fast they go?
Yeah, the problem with horses is free will.
Like 200 horsepower.
Yeah, we don't even know.
I don't know that. It's not like the first car where it's like, this is as fast as 3 horses. It's as powerful as 3 horses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get that we're going to reference that because it's recent comparisons.
Right.
But now it's like a 380 horsepower engine.
Yeah, we have no concept.
No.
Who can fathom just a half a mile of horses chained together, all working as hard as they can?
Like Santa's sled with horses. That's what we're talking about here.
But the problem with...
exactly. 300 horsepower. Think how absurd. That's an entire herd. That's like 3 herds. And it's like, I'm getting a 300 horsepower truck because I need something to tow my boat. Guess what? Unless you have a battleship, I don't think it's going to take 3 herds of horses. I think like 2 horsepower could honestly, if they're strong enough horses, could probably handle that pontoon boat.
2 big horsepower. That's what you're going for. Yeah.
The best and worst part of horseback riding, of course, it's like you're connecting with nature, and we're taking this long ride through the Rocky Mountain National Park, and it's beautiful. But the hard part is at the beginning, the wranglers size you up and kind of pick out, because there's a ton of horses there. They kind of pick out.
Yeah.
So my daughter Eve, 6 years old, like confident, wonderful. They get her this great horse that's just this beautiful, like, yes, of course, that's what Eve will ride. And she pops right up and she's riding the horse. they bring out my horse, and because, they've sized me up. So they bring out a horse that is essentially like a Jetta with legs. I mean, it's just a massive Clydesdale of a horse.
Clydesdale.
To be able to drag me around the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
And we just give each other the same look. Like, I'm
sorry, man.
So sorry about what's about to happen. So I mount up on this monstrous beast. It didn't listen to me at all. It was just like, they're like, oh yeah, this is one of the oldest horses we have. He doesn't listen.
So he's over it. He's like, I'm doing what I want.
He is super done with this. He didn't listen to me at all.
I've only been to Dude Ranch once, family vacation. Yeah. Chandler was 5. I was like 16, 17.
Yeah.
And we went out to Colorado. And they sized me up.
I thought you were talking about Cohen for a second. I'm like, what kind of weird stat was that?
Chandler.
No, that makes a lot more sense.
I'm 11 years older than him.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
They sized me up, put me on a horse, and they said, "This is your horse. His name's Squirt."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I remember this.
and the reason why I found out his name was Squirt is this thing pees like you've never seen in your life.
Oh, man.
Constantly stopping. So we're going along the trail, and literally every 20 feet, there's a torrential downpour.
Right.
My horse stops. There's a flooded river behind me. And then we go another 20 feet, and he goes again. Like, he literally, like it was unnatural.
It's like, I don't know if horses have prostates, but that whatever valves happen inside of horses
was off.
It's all kinds of broken.
Also, maybe give him a little less water,
Yeah. It's the horse that, like those catheter commercials that they play on like Fox and Friends.
But to have your name,
my horse watches Fox News, is what we're saying.
Yeah, right.
Right. For your horse to be named that, though, is a real problem.
I don't do horses, and here's why. I had a bad experience. I will say this, I witnessed a bad experience. I was in college, and a couple of us on like a spring break went to like Costa Rica, and we were just kind of like making our way around, and we went to this one beach, and there was a guy there, and he had a sign that he would do horseback riding on the beach for like only a couple $. And
very romantic.
One of my buddies is like, hey, I think I'm going to do this. This is going to be really super memorable. So he like pays the guy. The guy leaves. He comes back with like the mangiest horse you've ever seen. Like,
oh my gosh.
The expression, I learned what the expression, Chandler, if you need to bleep me, you can, but this is the word. I'm seeing it as the Bible word, not the profanity, but the word half. Because this horse was like half jacked. It's like it was breeded down with like barn animals, okay? And like it was super mangy, and it didn't have a saddle. It just had like a blanket on its back.
Oh gosh.
So my buddy gets on it, and like they go walking off. Like 20 minutes later, I have never seen an animal move this fast before. Like, it was like the freaking Kentucky Derby. Like, if you were to show me that mule half-bred horse thing earlier, there is no way on earth that I think that it can run that fast. And my buddy is on its back, and it is sprinting. And I look at my buddy's face. I swear I've never seen terror like that on a human's face before.
I would love that.
He is so tense, and the horse, there's no stopping it, and my friend's not screaming. It's just sheer terror as this animal is running at like 35 miles an hour down the beach, like glunk, 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 and we just see him blaze past us. He is white as a ghost. 10 minutes later, the guy who rented it to him just comes sprinting down the beach. Like, he was so far behind. It took like an hour for me to see my buddy again. The horse just eventually ran out of gas, and he just jumped off of it.
Did you just
after that, I'm like, I'm not getting on an animal.
When you saw that, did you just laugh until you like almost threw up? I mean, that has got to be the funniest thing in the world to see.
Because we're just sitting there because he's been gone for a while, and we saw the mangy horse, and you can see him blazing. Where they're like, that's no way that's him. That horse is moving way too fast, and it was just sheer terror. So I don't do horses because of that. They're in control, not us.
Oh, they are in control. I mean, I've seen people bucked and thrown off, and they break their shoulder and stuff. I mean, because you're 10 feet in the air and you're flying. I mean,
but also I've ridden a horse full out a few times, and it is a really magical thing to have an open field and to tell it to go. And you're like, not like your friend where you're screaming in terror, like you're really connected. It's really beautiful, but mostly they're just following each other and terrible and stinky and peeing everywhere.
That's what I know.
How was your second trip to Montana this year?
Montana, we were just there last month, so I felt guilty double dipping. It was a lot more restful. I would say that. It was an interesting trip. There's a lot of Hollywood guys, and one of the one of my favorite things about going to Montana is the chance to play poker all night. And so there's always a couple guys on the trip that want to play poker all night. They're passionate about poker. And we were talking about it on the first day we got there. One of the guys on the trip was named Willie Robertson. He's Duck Dynasty guy.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious dude. He's so funny. But like the first day we're talking about like, yeah, tonight we'll play poker or whatever. He goes, oh, cool. I'll play with you guys. I've never played. You show me how to play. I'll be down to play.
Those are the worst kind.
Oh no. He was a shark. He was totally BSing that he'd never played before.
Oh.
And we played till 3 a.m. every night. It was me and Willie and a couple of the other guys, and then a bunch of the guides and younger, the crew that like works there. And Willie Robertson, as you could have probably imagined, is the biggest trash talker you've ever experienced. And it feels so good when you win a big hand against a guy who talks a bunch of trash.
Yeah.
Because he would like bully everybody and it's good natured, but
does he wear the headband all the time?
All the time.
Wow.
Well, I saw him in a hat once.
Right, but
it's like Hulk Hogan. Like Hulk Hogan went to court a few years ago, and before he went, this is true.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have seen
the Gungor case,
the movie about how he took down Gungor, but like he literally petitioned the court before the case started to wear a dress bandana to court. When you go to court, usually it's bandana free, but Hulk Hogan's like, if it's a black sleek dress bandana, can I wear it? And the judge granted him special permission because it's so into his brand.
Willie told the story.
And he looked great.
Willie's a passionate golfer, and he was telling stories about some of the world class courses he's played, and he was telling like he got the chance one time to play Augusta National where the Masters is, right? Yes. So he's out in Augusta. He got in there, and he was in for he said he was on the 4th hole, and one of the guys like drove up, one of the people who worked there, and said, Mr. Robertson, Augusta National would like to give you this complimentary hat. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, thanks. And then the guy Willie was golfing with is like, yeah, they mean put it on. Because he apparently Augusta National, you don't wear a bandana, because he was just, that's just how he rolls, So he's like, okay. But
wow.
Yeah. I saw him a couple times. It's not like Hulk Hogan where it's like, too much of a thing. But I mean, that's not.
But that's like what he wears. It's not like when all the selfies are done and he's still wearing that thing.
Oh yeah. It's every day. He is matching. Like he wore an orange shirt one day with the matching orange bandana. Like every day he's got outfit coordinated bandana situations. But the worst thing was the second night we were there, still feeling each other out poker wise. And the second night we were there, we played till 3 a.m. And on the last hand, he took all my money. And then the next day we went on a long boat trip together, and I literally never heard the end of it. It was just all day just razzing me about that last hand, telling everybody about that last hand.
It reminds me of that episode of Family Matters where Eddie and Waldo get hustled by some pool sharks. Do you remember that episode?
I do.
No, I don't.
For some reason, there are random episodes of old sitcoms that just sear into your memory. And I think that was when I realized just how absurd the show is. And I remember the line, because the pool sharks hustle Eddie at first by losing to him. And they tell him to put because he's talking trash. They tell him to put his money where his mouth is. Here's what Waldo said. Don't do it, Eddie. Money's dirty. Waldo doesn't know.
Was that Family
Anyway,
Matters?
here's how this episode resolved.
I thought that was Fresh Prince.
I thought it was Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
They went on the bad part of town, and there were some pool sharks, and
I'm pretty sure. Listen, I'm pretty sure because
I'm remembering the Fresh Prince one.
I
think the grandmother on Family Matters was like, she came and she's like a pool shark, and she ended up winning. Are you guys sure it was Fresh Prince?
Yeah, it's Fresh Prince.
There is a Fresh Prince.
Okay,
one.
hold on. The episode is called Fast Eddie Winslow, and it aired in 1990.
Fast Eddie Winslow.
Now, I was going to propose a bet in the spirit of what you just experienced.
Yeah.
Do you believe that there is another episode with the same storyline, or do you believe that Jesse is right?
No. I mean, if he found it,
I know
that's
the
fine.
answer.
But there is a Fresh Prince one.
There's definitely a Fresh Prince episode.
Yeah, because they were.
It
was a rebellion thing. Like he was going off to make his own way or something. And he found himself.
It's crazy that both of those shows had an episode where the protagonists get hustled by pool sharks.
It's the exact same episode.
It is sort of an 80s, 90s TV show trope. Like that was just sort of like we'll do the getting hustled episode.
Right. So then the next night, I'm all day just smiling to not give him the satisfaction of talking crap to me all day.
Right.
I'm smiling and just gritting my teeth, waiting for that night's game to win all my money back.
Yeah.
And I did well.
Right.
I felt good. I didn't like bust him, but I felt like I held my own.
He stopped
I made
talking.
my point. And he stopped talking. That was the thing. He stopped talking.
Right. Even just breaking even. Just, all right.
Yeah.
Let's turn down.
And so then, the follow-up texts are kind of like, now I'm kind of like, hey, man, anytime you want to, I had a lot of fun. Anytime you want to give me your money, I'm down, And he's like, well, you can try. I guess. So we're back. But I mean,
it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You should have sent a message the next night by wearing a bandana to the table.
That would have been.
There's a new bandana in town now. New bandana.
You should bring just a rainbow of bandanas.
Yeah.
And when you know what he's wearing to the table, you just show up with a matching bandana on and never own up to it. Just
Never
like, no,
acknowledge
it's
it.
just what I want to wear.
Yeah.
We should. He should be on the show. I would like to hear his side of all of this.
Yeah. No, he is literally one. There's two takeaways about Willie Robertson. I never met him before. He loves the Lord, or three takeaways. He loves the Lord passionately. Okay. He pastors. There's at his church in Monroe. He leads. He last year started a second service that he leads. He preaches twice a month. He lines up the speakers for the other weeks. He is involved actively in ministry. His family runs a summer camp for kids, a Christian summer camp. Like he is one of the good ones. I mean, like he literally like in ministry and stuff, he's doing it behind the scenes. He's not doing it for accolade, serving locally. It's amazing. He's one of the funniest dudes, one of the best storytellers you ever hang with. Yeah. If you ever see Willie Robertson at a table, sidle up and you're in for a night of laughing. I mean, it's just like, he's so funny.
Isn't his daughter like famous now? Or
yeah, Sadie Robertson. Sadie has her own ministry, and she's an entrepreneur. She's living in Nashville. She is crushing it.
She's on like Annie's show and stuff.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to be at a conference where Sadie or an event where Sadie's speaking, see her speak. She is a powerhouse spiritually. She's amazing. Yeah.
Is Duck Dynasty even on the air anymore?
No, they ended it last year. I can tell you there's some new things brewing, but that run with A&E ended last year. He's happy about it. We had long talks about that. It was great for their family, for their business and all that, but it was time to end. They were filming 7 days a week for a while, for 11 months a year. And then they finally said no more. So they were doing Monday through Thursday, and they had the weekends off just to recalibrate. But it was just so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. How do you juggle actual businesses? How do you juggle ministry, family life, friendships? I mean, when it's going on for 6 years, they did, I think, 11 seasons or something. It was time. He was ready. He's relieved. He has spent the last year remodeling a cabin on his land by himself. Like he's actually in there with the hammers doing it. Just he's serving in his church, started this new, service, like just breathing, You
think he's wearing the bandana when he's he's got
100%.
But do you think he has like a work bandana?
Oh yeah. It's probably an American flag. That's my guess.
Yeah. Seems right.
Do you think that, like, let's say non-bandana situations, like let's say swimming pool,
great question.
Is he rocking the bandana, or is he wearing it and he swims like a mom who recently got her hair done and can somehow navigate the entire pool without ever getting their head wet?
So
we went,
this. I think the spot. I think it was too cold when we were there, but there's a spot on the lake up there. It's a 71-mile long lake with cliffs. It's like the Grand Canyon. It's like a dam at the end, so it turned into a lake. This huge canyon, and there's a spot where we go cliff jumping. And Willie went cliff jumping. So I have seen him sans bandana. I have seen the hair wet.
Is it hard to know who he is? We've talked a lot about him on this show, but I'm going to keep asking.
It's Willie Robertson.
It's still him, yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's doing a Hulk Hogan full cover. It's just a strip. Mm-hmm. It's the folded over bandana. It's like a headband.
I understand. Yeah,
I mean, it just looks like him.
Yeah, it's like Jesse with his little ear pods in.
It's like LeBron's headband.
Yeah.
That's right. Except Willie doesn't have LeBron's hairline issues.
Oh, so it's literally just an accessory. It's
it's just a look. He has so much hair, it actually keeps the hair back. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's a functional
utility. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a utility thing.
Yeah, it's not a fashion thing. It's actual function.
That's right. Yeah, right. Or both.
It's a streamlining the head.
That's
thing.
right. Willie Robertson, everybody.
That was your Willie Robertson update.
All right, moving the show along. It is time for our weekly look back at culture and entertainment. It's time for
In Case You Missed It.
Hey, in case you missed it, this week, Jane the Virgin star Gina Rodriguez announced she's using her Emmy money to send a student to Princeton. So I don't know if you know this, but when studios push their stars during Emmy season, they allot the star a certain amount of money to help with their campaign, which is cool. And I didn't know that. I mean, I know they spend money on like for your consideration ads and stuff, but I didn't know like the star themselves gets cash for their efforts. But anyway, Rodriguez actually asked the network to use the money that they would have sent to her to instead send an undocumented high school student to the college of their dreams. So she partnered with Big Brothers and Big Sisters of LA and found a young woman headed to Princeton. And she's putting all of her For Your Consideration campaign money toward a scholarship. She explained to The Hollywood Reporter, she said it's taboo to talk about the money being spent, but it's the reality. I think sharing this might inspire other people to do something similar. You can desire recognition and at the same time decide to not play in the confines of the game as it's set up. I like that.
You sighed when you heard her name. Do you have a problem with her? No.
I don't have a problem with her. I'm just in love with her.
I
just think she's the greatest.
We'll have to get her on the podcast, Andre.
Maybe Willie can set up a little poker game.
She's out. She's just out trying to make the world a better place. I follow her on Instagram. She's doing a lot to use her platform to raise awareness around immigrant and stuff like that. So, I mean,
she's just people that are kind and funny and cool all at the same time. Right? Just like, oh, you're the best.
Also, did you see her on celebrity rap battles or something like that?
No,
it was on one of those late night shows, I think. And she can act. She's actually got bars.
Yeah. So icing on the cake. She's incredibly talented.
Yes,
musician. Okay, so you love her. Got it.
I have a question about the For Your Consideration ads. Like you see them around award season. Who are they targeting? Like
members,
whose consideration are they asking? To
voting
be
members of the Academy who read the trade publications. So
or on the internet. This is how they like. This is I see the.
They're
Portlandia
literally
ones.
Marketing to the few thousand members of the voting Academy, and that's it.
But they're everywhere, so they have to put stuff all over the place.
It just seems like an absurd. She's right. It seems like an absurd use of money. And why should that influence? Like if the awards are supposed to be on the merits, the creative merits of the show, why should if I see a billboard ad on Variety.com, why should that sway my vote? It just doesn't make any sense.
Because it's just like voting for a president. Like you would hope that everybody is going to really pay attention to the issues. But a lot of people just basically vote on marketing. So they know that that's going to be the case. So they try to market the best because they're not. I mean, if you think about how many awards they have to vote for, maybe they're going to actually have watched all of the Best Actress nominations, like performances. But sound design, they're not watching all of the sound design movies. They're just going to pick the one that's like, oh, yeah, everybody, there's been buzz about whatever solo sound design.
This money wags the dog because like if a studio benefits significantly if they have award-winning content that they're creating, right?
Yeah.
And so they have a vested interest in winning some awards, and so they pick their best ones, and then they say we're going to put nomination money campaign into this one. And then that creates, now the media sees that and goes, oh, okay, this is a buzzworthy film. And so then they're reporting that. And then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They get nominated.
Yep.
And then like the voting Academy, like Eddie said, I can't watch all of everything. And so then I'm going to look at the media. Who are they saying are the favorites? Well, the media is influenced by the money that's spent to get the attention. And then all of a sudden that money leads to actual nominations and then wins. I mean, it really does work.
But the other thing too is like, I feel like we are paying attention to For Your Consideration.
Yeah.
So you see something and you're like, that
must be good.
It almost like
credible,
counts as like, that's the best actor.
That's right.
I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
You're saying this should be for my
But that's right. It's like, I missed that movie. And there's this buzz that I'm seeing because I saw this ad that was paid for, and then let me go check that out.
Yeah, I saw Portlandia For Your Consideration ad and just started burning through the next season because I thought, maybe it's on that level where it's going to be up for whatever an Emmy.
Dude, money talks.
It is really funny though.
In case you missed it, Netflix created a powerful campaign centered on their strong Black leadership campaign. The platform has launched the campaign that emphasizes shows created by, starring, and written by Black creators, including new seasons of Dear White People, Luke Cage, She's Gotta Have It, and several others in production. The new ad for the campaign, which aired during the BET Awards this weekend, features stars like Ava DuVernay, Spike Lee, Justin Simien, and others, and powerful monologue about representation in media. Here's a clip.
This is a new day. Built from the ground, broken by legends. A day for our generation to see untold experiences of our Blackness, representing a limitless range of identity. Playing kings and queens of our neighborhoods, defeating larger-than-life forces, trying to flip our world upside down. We stand up on any stage and every screen. A day when black women are boldly the lead character, whether inmates or scholars. We're not a genre, because there's no one way to be black. We're writing while black, nuanced and complex, resilient and strong. This is not a moment. This is a movement. We are strong black leads. Today is a great day in Hollywood.
So I have something awful to ask.
Okay.
And I want everybody to just tell me if you can just push back. Because they also had another story in this past week about how one of their top executives said some deeply racially offensive comments.
It's like a communications guy, right?
In a board meeting.
He's a PR. He's the executive over public relations.
Yeah. He said something and in a couple of board meetings, and they have fired him. But it was he's gone. I don't remember the context with which it all happened. I just know that he has been fired. So I always wonder, were they already prepping this whole thing, and this is response to that, or was it just oh no, we've already got this great campaign that's rolling out next weekend?
To answer your question, this campaign's actually been in the works for a few months, and if you see if you watch the video that you heard, the monologue alone that we listened to is incredible. But if you see the commercial, it would be impossible for them to have turned that around in that short amount of time. Mm-hmm. It's based on the work of, I forget the photographer's name, but a series of famous photos in Harlem. And he got all these creators to come together. So to answer your question, Eddie, I think maybe they bump the ad, but it seems like this is something that's been in the works for a long time.
Yeah, I was curious about that.
Hey, in case you missed it, ESPN's Tony Reali gave a stirring speech about loss and grief after losing his son. His wife, Sam, was to give birth to twin boys last week, but only one of the boys, Enzo, lived. The other, Amadeo, died shortly before being born. Along with hosting the long-running show Around the Horn, Reali is a vocal Christian. He's been known for openly displaying ashes on his forehead during Ash Wednesday. On Twitter, he explained that his son was named for God's love, saying, "May we all be open to seeing it in ourselves. May we be strong enough to receive it from others, compassionate enough to give it to others, and courageous enough to demand it from others." Here's a clip.
I'm still feeling the Father's Day vibe, so I gladly cede my time to you, Mr. Tony Reali.
Yeah, nice. Thank you, Israel. The notes and the condolences my wife Sammy and I have received have gone right into our soul, and I wanted to say that. Talking about the duality of losing a child near childbirth and then delivering another healthy one is impossible. I was talking about this yesterday on Twitter. How can you ever be whole again? Parents have had to go through this before. I'm going through this now. And I spent time, pledging that it's okay not to be okay. And for me, the recognition that I've come to is that life can be out of our control. And that's okay. It's how we respond and what we do. That's what we have control of. So here's where I am today. Grief is part of humanity. Grief is proof of humanity. Parents dealing with loss or anybody dealing with loss, meet yourself where you are. Give voice to your feelings. Young men, young women watching, this can be how you grieve. Don't bury your heart. Keep it on the outside and look to other people because humanity can lift us. That has been my experience. But I need to say this now. More duality. If I'm brutally honest, today my thoughts are with children in cages. That's parents experiencing loss too. Humanity needs to be better. Amadeo, I love you forever. You're named for God's love. May we all be craving it. May we all be giving it to each other. And may we all be compassionate enough to give it to all.
It was such a powerful moment on that show. I mean,
I can't imagine grieving publicly like that, and having the wherewithal to do what he just did. That's powerful.
And he's he's one of my favorite sports media personalities because
that's who you mimic when you host our podcast.
Yeah. I'm pulling the Tony Reali. I mean, not only is he really good at what he does, and he's been doing it for a long time very well, but he's also known for taking important social stands and, talking about his faith. I mean, he did, it's kind of like an annual thing. I think he's been on ESPN for 13 years or something now, but every single year on Ash Wednesday, he goes on TV with the ashes on his forehead to the extent where he regularly gets asked about it. I remember him writing this column in the Washington Post about his faith and why it's so important to him and why it's so important to use his platform to communicate it. And this was such an incredible human moment that like you saying, Cameron, I can't even imagine having to, go back to something like that kind of job that requires you to kind of be on, but still being able to take a minute and be honest about grief and loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't put on a show through that kind of tragedy.
Yeah.
Like there's some things where you're like, all right, the show must go on. I'm going to go and do my shtick, but you can't. The loss of a child, I mean, that's beyond what can be handled. I think it's most impressive, though, if people are wearing ashes 3 or 4 days after Ash Wednesday.
Like they're like really
it's just like, hey, I don't shower, and I'm going to let you know.
I can literally not wash my face in 7 days, and you can tell because there's ashes.
Yeah, and I'm very publicly displaying the fact that these ashes are just kind of drooping down my forehead, and I don't shower.
It started as a cross. Now it's just a big dark blob right on the middle of the forehead. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, lastly, in case you missed it, Fresh Off the Boat author Eddie Huang is making a food show about immigrants in America. The restaurateur, he wrote a book that the sitcom Fresh Off the Boat was named after.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's working on a new show called Cash Only, which he's calling an immigrant-focused food show. He explained it at Deadline. While not all Americans understand and welcome immigration, a lot of the anger toward immigrants could be resolved if it wasn't presented as a zero-sum game where dominant culture loses every time an immigrant is granted entry. I hope we can provide much-needed perspective on this issue by examining the world through the eyes of the marginalized. There's no word yet on which network will air the series, but Fresh Off the Boat.
I'm super pumped about this. Food. I'm getting into food shows. Like I'm a horrible.
Did you start watching Ugly Delicious?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I've only watched a couple, but I mean, it's super entertaining. Like even if you don't care, like let's say you don't care anything, you've never thought deeply about pizza, right? Let's say your relationship with pizza, your whole life has been very casual. You watch this show, and all of a sudden you're like super, super passionate about pizza, and it doesn't try to convince you. It just takes you all over and shows you like these pizzas of the world, and you're like, I've never even thought about this topic like that, and it's fascinating. It's super well done.
As Ugly Delicious goes on, he gets a little. It subtly shifts where it's less about food and more about people and issues.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
It's really, especially which one is the one that really
like I saw somebody on Twitter kind of go, I thought I was watching a food show.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden it turned into like a liberal agenda. That's what somebody said.
I didn't think so. But it was
he does tackle immigration and race stuff.
Yeah, with the fried chicken episode.
Dude, the fried chicken episode was powerful.
Yeah. But back to the food of it, though. We went, when I was in LA last time, we went to one of the places that he went to just because he went to it.
Yeah.
He is right. It was like the best taco. It was like that taco fusion place where they do like Asian infused. Holy smokes. And I was like eating like David Chang in the like just disgusting. You know how he eats just like there's no tomorrow and he didn't just eat a meal and is about to eat another meal. He's right. It was amazing.
Fresh Off the Boat, the ABC show, I don't watch it very much, but the few times I did watch it, I liked it because it was based in the 90s. You know, it was it's based on the story of him growing up.
Yeah.
Immigrant family, they're a restaurant family here in Orlando. And so it's based here in Orlando in the 90s. And so the boys in the show are super into the Orlando Magic and Shaq. Because it was the Shaq and Penny era. And they wear their Shaq jerseys and stuff. And I'm like, that's right. We wore our Shaq jerseys in the 90s.
I did not know that. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, he grew up here in Orlando.
Is the restaurant at all based on a real restaurant that still exists?
I don't know if it still exists, but his mom and dad ran a restaurant here in Orlando.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotta get more info on that. How about that?
But the only Orlando anything in the show, because obviously it's shot in Southern California, there's no references to anything local except Shaq. So,
which we'll take. I mean, what else is there?
Yeah. In the 90s, that's it.
So it's an ABC show. They could mention Disney all day long.
That's true. They didn't.
They could have like TGIF did. TGIF did two things: a pool hustling episode and an episode where the whole clan goes to Disney. And
that's true. That is so true.
And they all at some point visit the Indiana Jones ride that's been there for like 35 years. You know?
Wow.
Those are two things contractually. If you had a sitcom in the 90s on TGIF, characters had to get hustled by pool sharks, and you had to go to Disney World. That's the deal. That's the deal.
When I this was back in like the early days of Relevant. I got an email from some lady who was an executive at ABC, and she was a believer, and she found Relevant, and she really liked it. And she dropped me an email saying, "I really like what you're doing. Hey, I'm going to be in Orlando for some meetings. I'd love to meet up." So I went and we had lunch, and it was really fascinating. And her job at ABC with television was specifically the crossover stuff, like connecting the brand experiences to like when
the Harlem Globetrotters appear on Scooby-Doo.
When AFV would have their like Disney Vacation episode or whatever, that was her. And I'm like, you're ruining America's Funniest Home Videos. I hate those ones where it's like obvious promotion, but that was literally her job.
Listen, I'm able to suspend my disbelief, but you're telling me the cast from one of the Disney rides crash landed on Gilligan's Island and was able to get rescued, but the rest of the island had to stay? That's too far. That's too far.
That is a bridge too far.
She literally, like, her job was to look for opportunities to take other ABC or Disney owned properties and figure out ways to subtly get them onto the ABC television content.
Which is never subtle.
No.
Because one thing that you're like, it just looks like things crash landed into each other.
It's
like,
terrible.
It really does.
Supposed to be there.
Like the worst one is somehow I've never seen an episode of the show, but for some reason, like the channel I was on, which who knows what even channel it was, like the short run TV show According to Jim, which was like Jim Belushi's. It was like a watered down.
I think it was one of those sneaky ones that was kind of like King of Queens that like nobody watched, but it was on forever.
Nobody watched.
Yeah, that was it. It's like a watered down version of King of Queens, except instead of Kevin James, it's Jim Belushi. Yeah. And the only one that I somehow watched was one where they went on a Disney cruise, and it was literally a Disney cruise advertisement. Like there was nothing entertaining. There was no shenanigans. It was just the plot revolved around them checking out everything on the Disney cruise.
Well, I met the person who's responsible for that.
Responsible for that episode of According to Jim.
Anyway, all right. Well, that'll do it for In Case You Missed It. Stay tuned. Up next, John Mark McMillan.
Heaven and a China girl, heaven and an empty dress, heaven and 3 wild birds, heaven and an empty nest. Said I wouldn't miss one minute, said I wouldn't buckle under stress, but I think I'm losing my head, losing my head. Oh, Christ, do you wake my ghost? Oh, sometimes it seems impossible. Did you give your body up to forge my trust? Did you give your body up just to suffer for my savage love?
You're listening to our next guest, John Mark McMillan. The song is Enemy, Love. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard St. Lucia with the new single, A Brighter Love. John Mark McMillan's latest album is called Mercury and Lightning. It's drawn critical acclaim for its genre-bending format, which is both worshipful and challenging, as he wrestles with spiritual questions as well as revelations about God's character. Well, a month or so ago, John Mark and his wife Sarah and others stopped by the Relevant Studios for an exclusive live performance of a song from the album. Here is John Mark McMillan performing Death in Reverse.
So this song is called Death in Reverse, and I think when I was writing this song, I was thinking about, those things in life that sometimes happen that change the way you see all of life. I think they call it the black swan, It's a thing that you don't maybe even believe can happen, or not even you believe it can happen, but it's just something so far outside of your context that, when it happens, your whole world changes. For some people, it's like having a baby or getting married, or maybe it's the loss of someone or maybe it's a world event or something. But there are these moments in life when you feel like the way the world works, and something changes, and you realize not only has the way you approach the world changed, but the way you see the entire world changes in those moments. Anyway, that's called a black swan, and this is called Death in Reverse.
You descend upon me like a rolling stone, like a black swan raging over all that I know. You know it unnerves me when I lose control, and I'm all out of options, and I'm I'm out of my head and I build my life around someone who I thought that I was, but it turns out all the things I do to feel young, they only make me old. But you raise me like a baby, like a fiery phoenix bird. Oh, and you lift me up like Lazarus. You love me like death in reverse.
You unearth me like a vein of gold with the powers that drive up flowers from the fold. You cast me uncursed, unearth my body and my soul like fire from my ashes, like fire from my coals. And I built my life around someone who I thought that I was, but it turns out all the things I do to feel young, they only make me old. But you raise me like a baby, like a fiery phoenix bird. Oh, and you lift me up like Lazarus. You love me like death. You love me like death. You love me like death in reverse. And I built my life around someone who I thought that I was, but it turns out all the things I do to feel young, they only make me old. But you raise me like a baby, like a fiery phoenix bird. Oh, and you lift me up like Lazarus. You love me like death. You love me like death. You love me like death in reverse.
That was John Mark McMillan. Go check out Mercury and Lightning. It's available now.
Just to orient you to time and space of when that's happening, it is early morning. They have been traveling. They are like sipping coffee, and I was like, I don't think they're like. It doesn't feel like they're like ready to do a thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as they said action, it was exactly what you just heard. Like,
I kind of agree. The only thing is, like, I felt like the thing that was notably absent was the majestic sound of a rain stick at the final chord ringing out. Like, it was a little jarring that it wasn't there. But other than that, it was fantastic.
Top down, head back. Ride by the high beast on Fairfax. Monday morning, I don't wanna hear trap. I play Rick James when I'm in traffic. I've been doing this since 5th grade. I've been doing this since I've been saved. I've been rock crowds on a big stage. I've been made hits with some big names. Yada, 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 yada. Bought a Mercedes for my baby mama. VIP, rockin' Dolce Gabbana. I went to the Grammys and I took my mama. Bottles on bottles on bottles and models on models on models and dollars on dollars. Yeah, that don't help me when my soul when I holler and I'm feeling the pain and I'm dealing with drama. Woo! That's too deep. I better fall back. Nah, get this work. You should've wore a hard hat. They told us don't work in the summer. I told them I'm working on something. I'm waving my banner, no propaganda. Why you flexing in your Panamera?
You're listening to Lecrae and Zaytoven. The song is Get Back Right. It's from their new album, Let the Trap Say Amen. Well, every 2 months, there's another issue of Relevant, and this month is no exception. We like to give you a little behind the scenes look at the new issue here on the podcast. And to do that, we want to welcome in one of our editorial team members, Tyler Huckabee, joining us from Nashville.
Hey, everybody. Seems like 2 months comes earlier every week, doesn't it?
We made Eddie leave the room. He's not part of this.
He is in a soundproof booth right now, which for some reason is slowly filling with water. That's just a little twist we put in there.
Yeah,
not really part. So we have to get through this quick.
Right, it's our clock. That's the countdown.
Yeah.
So we wanted to just take a few minutes and tell you what's going on in the new issue of Relevant. It's an exciting issue. We're excited for you guys to see it. And this is your kind of preview. We have some clips. We have some music. We have a multimedia extravaganza about to happen. It's exciting. Well,
Smorgasbord of content.
The July issue features one of our favorite artists on the cover. Leon Bridges is the cover story.
Oh man,
this issue. I'll tell you, there was a debate. There was a couple of stories in contention for the cover story, and after we read them, I was like, literally, I was taken aback. I was like, how could this Leon Bridges story not be the cover?
Right.
It was fascinating. It tells a lot of his story. If you don't know his music, he brought the kind of neo soul, vintage kind of R&B, Sam Cooke type vibe a couple years ago. Took the music by storm. He's back with a brand new album. He talks to us about some pretty substantive things, and I learned a couple things in there. Outed him as a Christian. I didn't. Like a little subtle faith outing happening there in the cover story.
Subtle is right. He keeps his cards close to the chest, but it was still a really good conversation. Like the story was awesome.
You dug up some tweets. Some tweet replies.
That was actually me and Jesse had to do that. We got investigative. We went like West Town on this.
We want proof that you're a believer. His publicist didn't want him to talk about it.
But you know what's interesting about the whole story, and I like our approach to telling his story, is his identity as a whole is kind of a little bit mysterious. Not just his religious beliefs, but also like his musical style, because he has this kind of interesting onstage persona. And like the way he dresses and the way his music sounds is a little bit different than kind of the real guy, and that's what this story's out to kind of expose in a good way.
Here is a clip of Leon Bridges talking about just that.
It really is a small percentage of who I am. I of course I enjoy music from that era, the fashion from that era, but it doesn't really sum all of me up, and I'm a person that I'm a young dude and living in modern times, and I also enjoy, I grew up on modern R&B and hip hop, and I mean, a lot of people wouldn't even know that my favorite thing to do is to go out and party and turn up to Young Thug or love trap music. A lot of people wouldn't know that.
The funniest thing that I discovered about Leon was he is a Christian hip hop head. So like I knew this before, right? A couple years ago. Yeah. So like there's a rapper, he used to be known as Play-Doh. Now he's known as Crumb. He's Texas based, where Leon's from. And he was a Christian hip hop guy. He's been on this podcast years ago. And I follow him on Instagram, and Crumb's like doing one of his shows, like small shows, and right there side stage is Leon Bridges, just the Christian hip hop fan, just into the show, because he had a huge like arena show the next night there in Houston or whatever. Yeah. And so he was in town and he wanted to catch the Crumb like club show. Like, you know what I mean? It's so funny because like Crumb during the middle of the concert, like calls him out. Like he's like, oh, Mr. Leon Bridges or whatever. And that's what he put on Instagram.
Oh, that's cool.
But I was like, man, he's a hip hop fan.
Yeah.
There you go. If you haven't heard the new album, here's a clip from Leon Bridges' single, Bad Bad News.
Let me slip through. Why you trying to hold me back? I'm just trying to move up front, little more this, little less of that. Let me come through. I'm tired of being in the back. I'm just trying to move up front, little more this, little less of that, yeah. They tell me I was born to lose, but I made a good thing out of bad news.
Well, also in the issue, one of the other contenders for the cover story is Ethan Hawke. You've known Ethan. I mean, he's been acting since he was 13. What are some of your favorite Ethan Hawke roles?
I like the Before trilogy, as it's called. Boyhood was incredible.
Dude, Boyhood. That's where I was going to go. His Boyhood, man. He plays the deadbeat dad and Boyhood, man. It was powerful. The Before trilogy.
Although I'd say his performance in his first performance in First Reformed, which is what we spoke to him about for this interview, is as good as anything he's ever done.
And it's getting a ton of buzz,
it's
right?
A tier.
Yeah. He's getting a ton of buzz. This film is called First Reformed, where he plays like a conflicted priest who's having a kind of crisis of faith.
Yeah.
It's getting a buzz, is like a lot of buzz, is kind of like the best album or best movie of the year so far.
I hear some whispers about Academy Awards on this one.
For your consideration.
He's earned it. He's earned it. We'll lobby for him. We'll put in a good word with the voters.
Well, here's Ethan Hawke talking about why acting serves as church-like experience in his life.
At its best, art has always made me feel like I wish that church did. Like when you go see a brilliant production of Waiting for Godot, or I remember when I was a kid, my first play was St. Joan. And you really hear artists like George Bernard Shaw really tackle these kind of big themes of martyrdom and faith and grace, and it's really exciting. It's really exciting, and I think that whether it's acting or writing or whatever, when it's been any good, it's been connected to what other people would call a spiritual life. So it's always been really important to me. And I was raised a Christian. I was baptized an Episcopalian, confirmed an Episcopalian. My stepfather was Catholic, and my father is in either Episcopal or Church of Christ his whole life. And so I've been raised in and around a dialogue about faith my entire adult life. I mean, anytime I can remember, I've had a lot of very sincere people in my life who were seeking, and I've always been trying to figure out how to integrate that aspect of my life into my creative life.
That's one thing about Ethan Hawke. I think any time, if you've seen any of his movies, he's like a really kind of deep, thoughtful guy, and he really dug into this role. And he grew up going to church, so he had a lot of interesting thoughts. I felt like in this piece, not just about acting in his career, but about faith and spirituality. It was a fascinating conversation.
Substantive guy. He's got a lot of interesting thoughts.
What was he in? Reality Bites? What was the Gen X crisis slacker movie? Don't you remember?
I think it was Reality Bites, right?
He was in Reality Bites.
I mean, that was like when I think of Ethan Hawke, that's the era I think of, like grunge music, and he represented Gen X. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was like him, and I feel like John Cusack was kind of in that era. But what's interesting is I've heard it said he could have gone the direction of a Cusack, or even he's probably around the same age as a Matt Damon, who didn't get started till a little bit later. But I feel like Ethan Hawke only chooses thoughtful roles, especially at this point in his career. He only chooses really interesting. He's not he doesn't really care for the blockbusters.
Whereas like a John Cusack, take whatever he'll get. Whatever he can get
these days. Unfortunately, these days.
But Ethan Hawke he came out of the gates with Dead Poet Society. You've got Gattaca. Jesse, you mentioned the Before trilogy, which is one of the greatest, my favorite movies. He's got a deep bench. And he's not really talked about as one of the greats. Training Day.
Dead Poet Society was one of my favorite movies of all time, and his character in it is something you don't forget. I mean, it's jarring. Yep. Moving along, there's a lot more in the issue. More on the culture side, we talked to one of our favorite indie bands, Always. We spotlighted them, learned how personal tragedy actually made them more vulnerable as songwriters. They have a new album out. Here's a clip of their single, Dreams Tonight.
If I saw you on the street, would I have you in my dreams tonight? If I saw you on the street, would I have you in my dreams tonight?
On the other side of the spectrum in the issue, we have an article called For the Bible Tells Me So, where we look at how young Christians are now engaging the Bible more than before. And we talked with author Rachel Held Evans about what it's like to rediscover Scripture. Here's Rachel explaining how her own views about Scripture evolved in a positive way.
Deconstructing and reconstructing is not necessarily two clear-cut, distinct activities that you engage in. But I do think I'm kind of in the process of, after years of really deconstructing my faith and wrestling with a lot of doubts and questions, I do feel like I'm starting to rebuild a little bit. And I feel like a lot of other millennials, Gen Xers are in the same position where they've cast aside some stuff, but they want to hold on to their faith. So what does that mean? What does that mean for how they think about church, and what does that mean for how they think about and engage the Bible? So it just kind of felt like a natural thing to write about. And also I was encountering all this really awesome biblical scholarship that I had just not been exposed to before, from Walter Brueggemann to womanist biblical scholars to Jewish midrashic interpretations of the Bible that were just completely rocking my world and changing how I approached the Bible. I really felt compelled to share that with my readers because it was that scholarship was making the Bible readable to me again and exciting and interesting to me again. And so I felt like it was an important thing to try and share in like a creative, fun sort of way.
Yeah, Tyler, I know you talk with Rachel about this. I thought it was so refreshing that, she is someone who has openly kind of laid out the deconstruction of her faith. But this is like a cynicism-free reconstruction, embracing Bible and Scripture. This was a great conversation, and it had so many parallels to what's happening generationally with the Bible.
Yeah,
I think that her book inspired, which sort of inspired the us reaching out to her, and a big chunk of this article really does do a great job of showing how what healthy reconstruction can look like after you've gone through the process of questioning things about your faith. So many people, it's so easy to get stuck in that process, as we've talked about many times at Relevant. And she has showcased with this book a way to really move on and find something that's richer and fuller and better and more healthy than it was when you started the deconstruction process. I love talking to her, and this book has been really meaningful to me. I know it's been really meaningful to a lot of people too. Yeah. My little sister lives out in LA, and she is reading it, and she just texted me, "Can you tell your friend Rachel?" Rachel and I have never met face to face, but can you tell your friend Rachel that I just read the first 2 pages of her book, and I already love God more than I did before.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. 2 pages. That's a hot take.
Has she ever said that about anything that I've written? Never. Doesn't even text me.
Well,
not even sure she knows that I write.
When she reads 2 pages of anything you've written, she starts to question everything.
An existential, an esoteric crisis is triggered with each word that Tyler types.
Deconstructed past the point of repair. There's nothing left to build with.
Also in the issue, we talked to Pastor Brian Houston, the founder and pastor of Hillsong Global Movement. We also look at lessons that Gen Z can teach millennials, which is interesting. A lot of people mistakenly use the term millennials, meaning like kind of like everybody under 30.
Yeah, they think it's all the same.
Yeah, obviously demographics grow up. And it's interesting now that Gen Z is actually, all of college. I mean, so millennials, are 23 to like 38. Mm-hmm. And Gen Z is really kind of coming into, leadership and graduating school and all that kind of stuff. And it was just interesting to do a piece about the things that the next generation can teach this generation.
I think, I'm inspired by a lot of what I see out of Gen Z, like the activism and, political engagement and a boldness. Tyler, I know you worked a lot on this piece. What was the one thing kind of jumped out on you when you kind of looked at the differences?
Jumped out on you like a frog or something.
It's a pop-up magazine.
Stuff that jumped out on me.
This, I'll say this article is the highest budget piece we've ever done because it uses pop-up technology and 3D glasses. It's 4D because we did a cologne spray in the smell of Gen Z. It's Axe body spray. Axe body spray. Oh, what a story!
Tyler's sister read 2 pages of it and couldn't shake the smell.
She's an atheist now. Now she's dabbling with the Ouija board.
On this spiritual roller coaster. Oh man.
I think the most interesting thing that I found, and it's something that stuck out to me a lot, is how much more self-reliant Gen Z is. They came of age sort of in they've never known a world before 9/11. They've never known, they're digital natives. They don't feel the same sort of collaborative drive that a lot of millennials do to like work together in a big open office space. Gen Z thinks they can do it on their own. And I think that sometimes, obviously there's like that attitude can strike millennials as being sort of arrogant or being very self-sufficient, but it's also a lot of confidence that a lot of millennials lack. The belief that you do have something really valuable to offer in and of yourself. And that's been something that I've been trying to take from the younger generation to better myself, which is all to say I'm starting my own podcast without you guys.
You already did.
Don't need anybody.
You have that superhero one.
I do have the superhero, but even that one's not alone, believe it or not. I found some people to do it with me.
And his next one is about, losing your faith and converting to atheism. It's horrible. It is awful, Tyler. Shame on you.
His sister heard 2 minutes of it, and it just completely wrecked her.
Out of the gates.
Her eternal soul is lost. Thanks a lot.
Speaking of eternal souls, we talked to artist Lisa Gungor about her faith journey in the new issue. She's, obviously she and her husband Michael Gungor are known for their music group Gungor. And she opens up about her faith and marriage and what happened when her husband told her that he'd become an atheist.
Yeah.
I will give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. He no longer claims that, but there was a moment in their journey and in their marriage where he said that to her directly.
And it was at like a crucial time too. Like they were pastoring a church out there. They were known as the Christian band Gungor, so
worship leaders.
Yeah. What a time to have a crisis of faith.
Yeah. I mean, they had some extraordinary negative circumstances that happened in quick succession in their life, and it really shook them both to their core. What's interesting, we talked to Lisa about her faith journey, where she's at and that process. Here's a clip of a bit of our conversation with Lisa Gungor.
I think at first I closed up. I didn't talk to anyone about it because I was afraid of what they would say and that they would reject us. And not just Michael. I was afraid that they would reject Michael and me, because I felt like I would start being judged for, well, why are you staying with him? Why are you, I didn't know what to do at first, because my teachings that I had grown up would tell me, well, now you should probably not be with this person. You're unequally yoked and you're and all this stuff. But I clearly remember like looking at Michael and thinking like, gosh, like I thought an atheist would look different than this. And like he looks pretty happy and he looks calm for the first time in years. So in one sense, it was really beautiful to see him let go and not be tortured by these questions anymore. And on the other hand, we were not in the same place. Like I still believed in God because I'd had all these experiences. And he would say the same. He had all these experiences, growing up. But I definitely felt like I was split in two.
Powerful stuff. Good stuff. Other features, one to mention, if you listen to the podcast for a while, you remember a few months ago when Jesse and I spent quite a bit of time in Somaliland, looking firsthand at the drought there and the humanitarian crisis that's happening and what we can do to help turn things around. If you've heard us talk about it on the podcast, this feature goes far more in depth. We have a number of climate specialists and experts speaking into kind of what's happening and what can be done beyond just me and Jesse being, tourists, So definitely check that out. Fantastic photography throughout it. I just think it's just the best photography.
That really steals the
no
show.
words. You don't need them. You can't improve on the pictures.
Best photography we've ever had in the issue. I took the pictures. We also talk about Sabbath, the importance of Sabbath. We have our usual variety up in Front Matter. Our last word is written by Pastor Matt Chandler. It's fantastic. As we were putting this issue together, you've got your Rachel Held Evans, your Brian Houstons, your Lisa Gungors, your Matt Chandlers. You got the gamut.
Yeah.
Many streams, but one river, and we love pulling from different parts of the body of Christ and publishing those voices. It's always challenging and insightful. But I remember when we were putting this issue together, there was a note that somebody sent me, one of the editors who was doing one of their rounds, and said, and all the issues I've been part of, I think this is the best last word we've ever had.
Wow.
And it really was. It was like one of those kind of like put the period at the end of the sentence sort of last words. It was powerful.
He did a great job. Very inspiring. You when you close that magazine, read that last word, you're like, time to go change the world. Like I'm going to do
You're
this.
Storm
thing.
It
really
gates.
is. Like
it really is. It's very inspiring. Absolutely. Well, there's a lot more. Go check it out. The new issue's out now. You can pick it up on newsstands nationwide. Almost all the Barnes and Nobles have it, and there's other, kind of significant stores around the country that carry it. If your bookstore that you like going to doesn't carry it, ask for it. It actually helps it get onto the shelves. You can also go onto relevantmagazine.com. You can check out the entire issue there. We put the entire digital magazine up for free. You can view it. If you want to get the paper edition mailed to your home, you can also subscribe at relevantmagazine.com. Well, there you go. Thanks, guys. Great job on this issue. It's a powerful one.
Fun to put together.
There you go. Okay, stay tuned. Up next, your feedback.
So much runs on my mind. I barely close my eyes. I rarely go outside. 100 million moons. These early morning blues. They lead me home to you.
You're listening to Just Love Hall. The song's called Them Waters. Sorry, Cameron. I'm going to go ahead and do that one. What do we got coming up next?
Okay, it's time for your feedback. Now, I wasn't here for this episode, so this is new to me. But last week's editorial question of the week was, what would the staff of your celebrity church look like? Celebrity church is in quotes in my notes.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? What was that based on?
We listened to Chris Pratt's speech from the MTV movie awards. I don't know if you got a chance to hear that yet, Cameron.
Yeah, I did. That was amazing.
He gave it like his 9 rules.
Hey, I watch Relevant News first of all, and that video got a ton of views.
Yes, you've hit a
it's
soft
over
spot.
100,000 views right now. But we kind of, as Daz pointed out in that video, Chris Pratt is basically a youth pastor at this point.
Yeah.
Like, he delivered a sermon that was very, very short, which youth pastors have to do. And he also weaved in potty humor with deep spiritual truths. Like, he did the job of a youth. Like, that's what they teach you in youth pastoring school. I can only agree. So we started a conversation. If Chris Pratt is the youth pastor, who else would be on staff at the church there?
Interesting. Well, you guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and you also posted on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Here's a few of our favorites.
Emily Clark on Twitter said Viola Davis, senior pastor. I could totally see that. Very authoritative. I think we talked about her last week. Oscar winner. JT, Justin Timberlake, as worship pastor.
Really?
And here is my favorite is it's co-youth pastors, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Yeah, that was
every kid in town's going to that church. They could totally do it. And finally, Ted Danson as the simulation pastor. So there we go.
I found it funny that a few associate pastor nominations in completely different lists had Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, several.
I mean, obviously because of what he has said on his show previously, but it was like the associate pastor. I like it.
Not the singer. Like, you don't want to hear him preach every week,
no,
but every once in a while he'll do it. Like, you know,
you basically want him to do the announcements
and Thanksgiving week.
He's an announcement guy. Yeah,
funny
exactly. Announcements and holidays. That's about all you can take of Colbert. His wisecracking.
It's true. Announcements and holidays. I like it.
Maybe like baby dedications. Maybe funny baby dedications. I could see him having some fun with that. Jamie said that her dream church would include Denzel Washington on staff, and he would be able to do everything because he's Denzel Washington. That's a fair point.
That's true.
Tim Reeder has an interesting one. He is senior pastor Michelle Obama, associate pastor Stephen Colbert, music minister Sufjan Stevens. Yeah, that was an interesting one.
Shoegazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, get over it.
Can you imagine him playing
maybe
a song?
on like Holy Week or something?
It's just like,
that
would just be the weirdest worship
Advent.
service.
He can do a special Advent service.
There you go. When it's like an acoustic set.
Youth minister Pete Holmes and missions director Bear Grylls.
Oh yeah, Pete Holmes and Bear Grylls. That's spot on.
But he gave another one too.
He gave another one, and the entire staff is white, so I didn't read it.
Well, I don't know how serious this one is.
No, I'm not doing that.
It's Kirk Cameron as senior pastor, Kevin Sorbo as
Listen,
associate pastor.
If Kirk Cameron is the senior pastor, of course the entire staff is white. That is the whitest senior pastor.
Yeah, that was a Kirk Cameron burn, but he deserved it. He deserved it.
Mark Wahlberg as Marky Mark as music pastor, youth pastor, of course, Stephen Baldwin, because he's living it with the skateboarding, and finally the men's minister Tim Tebow. That's quite the lineup there.
All right, Chad McNulty said on Twitter, lead pastor Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean,
Has he checked the news lately?
He can just, well, yes, but
I was going to say, that's a lot of pastors too. So.
Worship leader Adele. That'd be good.
Okay.
Associate pastor Jimmy Fallon. So there's your wisecracking announcements guy.
Nice.
Youth pastor Kevin Hart. I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Children's pastor Zoe Deschanel.
Wow.
That's good. Head of security Liam Neeson. And then the sweet church secretary Betty White.
That is a pretty
I
great
love that this church has a head of security,
it's,
and I love that it's Liam Neeson. And I feel like if Liam Neeson is the head of security at your church, he lets people in the church get abducted just so he can go rescue them. Like he's sort of on call, like he's not like patrolling the service. He waits for abductions, and then he does his thing. So
he's like,
you'll get back safe, and a lot of weird henchmen will get beat up in the process.
He's like, now listen to me. I've never served on a church before, but I do have a particular set of skills.
Yeah.
I will find you and I will convert you.
Jesse.
I'll be here. Be here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, well, there's a lot more where that came from. Go check it out online. Okay, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
So earlier in the show, we all told, it's summer. We told some travel stories. Jesse told his Costa Rican story of his friend's harrowing horseback ride. Eddie talked about, staying in the lap of luxury at the Dumb and Dumber resort. I talked about staying up all night playing poker in Montana. We want to know your funniest or craziest stories from summer travel, like something that you experienced, something you saw, some horse you rode, from memorable moment from your travels. There you go.
Yeah.
And to be clear, we don't really care if you've been somewhere beautiful, if you've horseback ridden.
I don't want
through the
any
ride.
good stories.
No.
I want ones that end in like violent, like funny stuff, like violent illnesses, like getting arrested.
Yeah. If you rode a horse on the
becoming
beach,
persona non grata in a country,
Right.
stuff like that.
Right. If that horse didn't get away from you, if there wasn't some pretty intense injury, if there isn't, you understand where we're heading here. You've listened to the show.
Have you ever seen the show Locked Up Abroad? I want your feedback like that, except not going to prison for drugs for like 20 years.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
stuff going poorly is what I want.
That's right. That's hilarious.
So hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or you can post your longer stories on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Well, many thanks to our guests for joining us today. Remember, John Mark McMillan's new album, Mercury and Lightning, is out now.
Oh, good.
You can follow him on Twitter at JohnMarkMC.
I think they have that out in vinyl, don't they?
Oh, of
I
course.
think I saw a
Probably.
picture.
Yeah.
It was like a beautiful
Yeah.
album. The art on it is great.
Yeah. And also remember, the new issue of Relevant is available now. Leon Bridges is on the cover. There's some amazing content. You can view the entire issue online. You can pick it up at newsstands, and you can subscribe today at relevantmagazine.com. I think you'll like it, and it keeps the show on the air. So there you go.
You will like it.
And you'll like it.
You always say that because you're trying to be humble. You will love it.
I try very hard to be humble about the magazine. I'm very proud of it. The magazine's great.
And it's a big deal.
Oh, it's awesome.
Jesse does a great job.
Yeah.
The whole team does a great job. What am I
Whole
saying?
team.
I have nothing to do with it is what I'm trying to say. Hey, make sure to tune in on Friday. The Friday episode features Hillsong Young and Free joining us. It's going to be a good one. So tune in.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Andre Henry.
I'm Eddie Koffoltz.
Jalen String.
I'm Jesse Carey.
For Annie F. Downs. We'll see you on Friday.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
I'm searching for a nightlight in the dark, a brighter love, a brighter love. I'm searching for the undiluted heart, a brighter love, a brighter love. I'm hoping that somehow I'll find my way to a brighter love, a brighter love. Keep hoping.
There's a new bandana in town now.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Want your voice to be heard across Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and hundreds of other podcast apps? Then you should start a podcast with Acast. Whatever you love to talk about, there's an audience out there who wants to hear it. Acast amplifies your voice to millions of listeners around the world with all the tools you need to create, grow, and make money from your podcast. You can get started completely free at acast.com.